Because of the coronavirus, we had to wait out a quarantine period in the Dominican Republic in order to get our dispatchio. A dispatchio is a form that the Navy in the Dominican Republic has to issue anyone who is leaving a Dominican port going to another Dominican port. And you also need a dispatchio if you're leaving the Dominican Republic for another country. And so as we were going to Puerto Rico, which is technically the United States, we needed to get a dispatchio. While we were in Samana, the Navy did get in touch with us and let us know that we could get a dispatchio. So we put on our gloves and our masks, and we took all precautions. We went ashore and we went to the Navy and we got our dispatchios. It was a little nerve-wracking. All of the town of Samana was on lockdown due to the coronavirus. There's curfews, restrictions, stuff like that. Most of the shops and everything was closed, just kind of like the rest of the world is already at this moment. So we loaded up the dinghy with what we could. We got our dispatchios and we bugged out of Dominican Republic. When we arrive in Puerto Rico, we'll be quarantined again. Chances are we won't be able to leave the boat. Last time on Sailing Balachandra, we visited the island of Conception. Then Noelle did some meal prep for the long trip to the Dominican Republic.
If you're new to the channel, hi guys, I'm Noelle.
And I'm Dan.
And this little guy looking off on my sunscreen is Zeus. We're sailing Balachandra. We're sailing the Caribbean, trying to outrun the cops at the moment.
If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Just click the subscribe button just below the video.
Alright, coronavirus update 2. It just seems to be getting worse and worse, honestly. Puerto Rico is giving us mixed signals. We arrived in Port Royal, we did our CBP Roam app, got checked into the country, did a live chat with a CBP officer. They checked out our passports, they gave us the A-OK, asked us about our cruising permit. Unfortunately, Dan had forgotten to get one, so they asked us to go to shore. Once we arrived upon shore, amongst other cruisers that were waiting to see the custom agents, we waited for about 2 hours first off for these custom agents to arrive. Once they arrived, they started to see us one by one, talking to us, but then decided to ask us, make sure that we stay 6 feet apart from each other and just wait patiently, sat on the phone for an additional 20 minutes. Then they came back and said, sorry guys, there has been a change. And that now the country is no longer offering cruising permits, and they were not granting anyone permission to stay within Puerto Rico.
At the time, we were allowed to go to shore, but only to the marina and only to get fuel, water, essentials, and that was it. So it's pretty restricted. Had to stay out on anchor, and we couldn't see anything or do anything, which was kind of tough. And that was just on the first day. But yesterday, that all changed, and now no cruisers are allowed ashore. You're not even allowed to anchor out. The first day we were allowed to anchor, and now we're not. That's been very tough on us because we're on one side of Puerto Rico. And to go from Puerto Rico to the U.S. Virgin Islands, we need to get to the other side of Puerto Rico, which can't be done in a day with the wind conditions that we have here.
The other cruisers that we have been sailing alongside with since the Dominican Republic are starting to get antsy. We are not able to fly our Puerto Rican flags saying that we are checked into the country, and we just need to get going. We need to get out of here as quickly as possible.
Yeah, things went bad to worse. A lot of cruisers kind of banded together and said, look, we're going to leave. We're going to travel along the south coast of Puerto Rico, and then when we can, we're going to jump to the U.S. Virgin Islands. We jumped on board with those guys and said, let's get out of here.
Yesterday we set sail. We ended up anchoring outside of Gilligan's Island, and we anchored amongst about, I would say, 6 other boats. We knew some of them, we didn't know the others. A police officer approached us as we were about to drop anchor. He gave us the same spiel as the other officer. We're not allowed ashore, we're not allowed to socialize amongst each other, and so on and so forth. He said, if you have any medical emergencies, if you need anything of major importance, please give us a call. They gave us a number, and they were very cool and collected about the whole situation. They asked us what our plans were. We said that we were going to rest for about 6 hours and head out about 4 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, we told them that we were going to head for the U.S. Virgin Islands, and most of the boats in that anchorage were also doing the same thing. But when that police boat motored away, we had permission to stay in that anchorage.
Then, I would say 2 or 3 hours later, I believe it was around 10:30 at night, maybe 11, another officer had approached the anchorage and started going from boat to boat. Our message group on Instagram started going off saying, guys, turn off all your lights, the police are back, and they're trying to kick us out of the anchorage, which is really sad because one of the boats they had approached had 2 small children on board. It was very ugly. They wanted us to go. A boater had called the Coast Guard, told them that we were being harassed. The Coast Guard said that they'll see what they can do, but it seems as though the police here have a bit more authority at the moment than the Coast Guard itself. And it's really unfortunate that they are shooing us and not allowing us to rest. All this good cop, bad cop scenario going on is really playing on our minds.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is a total mess. Donald Trump apparently gave the governor of Puerto Rico powers that allow them to instruct the police to do anything they pretty much want. And they decided in the mix here quite suddenly that all cruising boats were not allowed to be there. And within hours, we're out there telling us to go. It's a breach of maritime law. It's a breach of safety. Telling people to leave and do an unplanned passage in the middle of the night is just bad. And so getting in touch with the Coast Guard was probably the smartest move for us because they at least are sympathetic to mariners and understand what is doable and what is not doing. I mean, leaving is not a problem. We intended to leave, but they just can't come and harass us like that, especially boats with children on board. I mean, I understand this is a state of emergency. You know, the coronavirus is a bad thing, but
why are they harassing us?
Yeah.
I mean, we are abiding to their rules. We are not leaving our boats.
Yeah.
The last time I stepped on land was 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and it's getting out of hand. I understand if the cruisers were not abiding to the rules and ignoring how serious the situation is, but no, we are taking it just as seriously as they are. We are not leaving our boats.
All right, guys, quick update here. I just overheard a conversation between 2 boats over the VHF, and they were talking about this exact situation with boats being kicked out of Puerto Rico. And it turns out it's the local mayors who have been given the power to kick boats out of anchorages, and the police are exercising that power on their behalf. And what other boats have been doing is calling the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard then will intervene as what they are doing is considered illegal, and they can't do that. So the Coast Guard is standing up for us boaters as they should, and it's working out in that respect, but the harassment is continuing. So we're expecting probably another police officer visit soon. But yeah, it's the Wild West here in Puerto Rico. We gotta get out of here. Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, please don't forget to subscribe. That's the button just below the video. It says subscribe, press that right now. And if you want, you can leave a like or a comment below. We really like to read you guys' comments. See you later.